Oh, can you tell this one's in pain? That one. Well, I was actually really nervous going in there. I knew I definitely wanted the tattoo. I wanted Callie and Corey's name on my arm. And the reason I did it was for me. My children are the two most important people in my life. So anyways, en route and prior to getting the tattoos, it was actually on the way here really. She was telling me that her first tattoo kind of tickled and oh, it's not that bad and whatever. And then she's telling me as we're getting closer to Edmonton, what it actually feels like is somebody sticking a needle in your skin and dragging it through your skin. And I'm thinking, holy fuck. I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Anyways, there was a little bit of preparation that had to get done. I told him exactly what I wanted for my tattoo, and he drew it out, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's perfect. He suggested that I get kind of blending it together, putting some background shading in there. And so I said, yeah, sure, let's see what it looks like. He's all set up, he's got his ink ready. So anyways, he's like, okay, we're ready. He started at the bottom part of my arm here. As soon as he started, I was like, holy f***, what have I gotten myself into? Because it was so painful. If Callie would have been closer, I don't know if I would have punched her. I just don't know. Oh my God. And it was so painful. And he started off doing the outlining of the footprints, and oh, it was painful. Prior to getting this done too, Callie's telling me, yeah, Mom, people have passed out when they've had tattoos done.
It's true.
And she was like, and if that happens, they can't work on you for 24 hours. So he's continuing on, and this pain was brutal. It was agonizing. And the thing is, you can't move. So I'm relaxing. My arm was relaxed. I wasn't tensing up because I wanted a good job on there. It's something that I'll be looking at forever. And so I'm relaxed, but inside I was just like, ah! I was screaming at the top of my lungs, no exaggeration. And I'm looking over at Callie, and Callie's wincing, and I could see that she's in pain. I'm like, holy fuck, what are we doing? So then anyways, he kind of finished the outlining, and it was agonizing. And then he started doing the background shading on there, and really that wasn't bad at all. It wasn't even that bad. And when he started doing the coloring, I'm looking at it, and there was 13 needles that were coming out of the machine he was using to put the color in. And while it hurt, it didn't hurt nearly as bad as that outlining in the black ink. That was brutal.
No, the outlining is definitely the worst part, and then the shading afterwards it's just gravy.
The coloring hurt more. The shading was the least amount of pain that I felt. And finally when he said to me, okay, we're all done, I was like, thank God. The only relief I really got was when he stopped, because the phone rang twice, and I was like, oh, yes. And then he was putting some kind of a cleansing lotion on my arm, and it was actually kind of cooling it, because it did feel like my arm was on fire, and it was stinging. He said, okay, we're all done. I looked at it. He asked me if he could take pictures of it so that he could post that on his website, and that I said absolutely no problem. He said it's a really, really pretty tattoo, and he asked me when I was gonna have the next one done. I'm like, no. And he was like, it's addictive. And he goes, everybody I've ever worked on starts off with one, and next thing you know, they've got 2 full sleeves. And I'm like, no, this is my one and only tattoo. Even Callie says it's addicting. I want her to watch the video that I took of her getting her side done.
I've lived it. I don't need to see it. I know what it's gonna be like.
She was crying. She was in pain. So once I finished, I was filming Callie getting hers done. She's crying. She's in pain. She tells me afterwards that if I was closer to her, she would have punched me in the face.
When she was filming, because the camera was like, she was getting it on my face and everything. So yeah, if she would have been closer, I would have punched her, because I was grumpy, I was in pain, it hurt, I was emotional because I was thinking about Corey, and it was just crazy. But it didn't start out that way. At first I'm like, oh my god, that tickles so much, and then I was like, okay, it's not so ticklish anymore. And I'm like, okay, this isn't fun anymore, and we had only just gotten started. So yeah, the thought did cross my mind too, like, what have I gotten myself into? But I would do it again. It's totally worth it. It's gonna look fantastic when it's finished. My next appointment is in December, so yeah, we had to stop today because my inflammatory response kicked in, and
I've only heard her say that about 17 times today. Everyone she's been talking to, her inflammatory response. Most people would say, it's swelling too much.
I'm a nursing student, and I know the terminology, so I'm gonna use it.
And how's your duo denim this morning, dear? Callie, I knew, needed to eat something. She basically had a banana for breakfast, and she picked at like maybe a quarter of an omelet, and there was 2 sausages. She had told me she didn't even want that, but I wound up bringing that for her. I had gone back to the breakfast buffet there to get some more, and I tell you, at 10 o'clock on the nose, poof,
Done.
the food just disappeared. They hauled it out of there so fast, it was unbelievable. Like, I'm talking at 10:01, that food was not available. They said the breakfast was from 7 to 10. They meant it. When we were all done, she was a bit shaky, and I saw that she was shaking when Bear was working on her. I saw she was getting really pale. Like, was that something I forgot to tell in my story? When he was still doing the outlining, I had put my hand behind my head and I was looking up at the ceiling, and I nearly fainted. And I'm thinking, holy shit. So I'm concentrating on wiggling my toes and stimulating myself, by just looking around. Honestly, the lights would have been out like that. That's how much it hurt me. I have to say, on the trip, Callie's been my navigational person. She's been riding shotgun, and she's got the Garmin in her hand.
I would just like to say, before she tells this story, that I've done a fantastic job every other time. Just saying.
This was on our way getting here. I'm hearing the Garmin, but one thing about that thing, it'll say take 170th Street, let's say for an example, but when you get to the sign, it doesn't say 170th Street, it says
Second Highway or Highway 2.
Yeah, Highway 2. So I was getting a little confused with that, because as he was saying it, I'm looking for the signs, to make sure I'm on the right track. Because, when it's like recalculating, that just means you missed the turn off.
Recalculating.
There was kind of a split in the road where I actually had to change lanes in order to go this way, or I was following this white van and we were going this way. So I'm saying to Callie, where do I turn? And she's like, I don't know, whatever. Could not believe that. Here's my navigational person, and it's like, do I turn? And she's like, I don't know,
whatever.
Couldn't believe it. The plan was to go to the Outback Steakhouse. Callie has always...
For the Bloomin' Onion, as you saw.
Callie has always wanted a Bloomin' Onion, and that was on her bucket list, so of course. Anyway, she was told that the Outback Steakhouse was within walking distance from West Edmonton Mall, that we needed to park next to Galaxyland and just walk across the street and go to the Outback. So it's like, okay, fair enough. So I pulled in to the entranceway at West Edmonton Mall to Sears. And that's where I should have actually parked yesterday. We wound up, when Callie got her snowboard, we wound up walking all the way through the mall.
I know. She didn't listen to me that day. She didn't.
But I listened to her today, and you want to know what happened? I know every right-hand turn around the mall. And we're talking the largest indoor shopping mall in the world.
Yeah.
So we start at Sears, and I'm making right-hand turns all the way around the building to find the entrance for Galaxyland. So guess what? We wind up coming back to Sears.
And we look across the street and there's the Outback Steakhouse.
While we're on this venture, Callie's like, Mom, I really think it would have been shorter to go the other way. Well, she led me in a complete 100% circle around the entire mall. So that was all her today. Fired. No, not really.
Oh, it was also on our list to stay at the Fantasyland Hotel. Why don't we talk about that one too?
Yeah, okay, I didn't make a reservation.
No, we're leaving the house. We're on our way out the door. The vehicle is literally started, and Mom asks Dad, "Oh, by the way, can you book a hotel? It's a long weekend. Get out of it. Get out of it. It's a long weekend. There's a rodeo in town. Like all of this."
I love you.
This ain't no typical Canadian family.
So anyways, yes, I failed to make the reservation, and Callie's like, Mom, you only had one job to do. One job. And I was like, lies. I had 2 jobs. I had to drive too. Whatever. So what else do you have to say?
I want to thank Kate. Kate had gone ahead and actually paid for some of my tattoo for a thank you for helping her this semester. So I would really, really like to thank her for that. It was a complete surprise. I didn't know until today. And her payment is actually going to be applied to the next appointment that I have. So I really want to thank her for that. I want to thank Mom for driving me around, and I could have driven. I'm just saying. She had to book the room. Tongue clicks on teeth. Kate, you know what I'm talking about. Have a good evening, morning, afternoon, whatever time you're watching this video.
Look who's here.
Look who's here.
Oh shit, we gonna work hard today. Ooh.
I muffed it.
Over and out. It's enough.
Yep.
Fini.
We're done.
We're done.
Sleep time.
Bye.
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 Could you put some more enthusiasm in there?
Bye.
That's better. Bye.